Hi, I'm Miranda McHodgkins, and I'm here interviewing Alane Adams, and she is the writer of the Legend of Orkney series, and we are at Denver Comic-Con.
Yes.
So let's start by talking about the Legend of Orkney series. So what is it about?
So a couple years ago, my 12-year-old son asked me to write him a book that he could read. And he was a huge fan of the Rick Riordan sort of Percy Jackson series. And I really liked mythology, and I felt like the Greek mythology had been done, and I wanted to use a different kind of mythology. So I decided to write a story about a 12-year-old boy using Norse mythology as kind of the backdrop. And one of the other things that we were really interested in was in a part of the world called Orkney. A lot of the King Arthur legends came from that part of the world, Orcadian soldiers. And so I discovered that there was some really great folklore around witches, as well as the Norse mythology. And so I decided to come up with a character who was not only the son of a Norse god, but was also the son of a witch. And just imagine what kind of magic, that would give a young boy to have not only witch blood, but also Norse god blood. And so I came up with a series that used that sort of concept at the center of it.
Let's talk about the BattleKasters. So how did that come about, and how has that kind of come from your series?
Sure. So when I wrote the series, I was trying to come up with a unique way to engage kids in reading. One of the things that I see over and over again, especially with my own son, is he's fascinated or maybe obsessed with his phone. And so he's always walking around with his iPhone, and he's always playing games on it. And it's a huge distraction. Kids today have so many options in front of them on how to engage with media. They can see it on their iPad, on their phone, and trying to get him to sit down and read a book cover to cover, there's a little bit of competition out there. And so I decided to kind of beat him at his own game. Why not come up with a digital mobile game that would get kids excited about reading the book? And so BattleKasters was kind of born out of this idea that the digital mobile game platform could, if the kids would come to these fan conventions and the young adults and the kind of players that we've had, once they play the game, they get to know my characters, they get to know some of the creatures, they get to, a little bit of the folklore and the mythology behind the series. And my goal is that it inspires them, it gets them excited to sit down and read the book cover to cover.
So how similar is Legend of Orkney to BattleKasters?
So BattleKasters is a game that uses all of the characters, or most of the characters, interesting characters from the series, and it allows those characters to be used in a spell casting kind of way. So the game itself isn't a direct take from the book as much as it's an offshoot of the book.
So what's it like seeing your series turned into a game that kids are playing?
It has been so much fun to be here at Denver because the game is fully available now. We were in beta testing before, and so this is the first time it's available on the App Store. Everybody's been able to play it, and the most exciting thing is to see kids run up to our booth and close the stone fire, which is how you win the game, and they're so excited, and they're jumping up and down, and they're just really excited, and they get a copy of the book, and they just stare at it with big eyes because, they've just had the most fun experience playing with my characters and my creatures and all the objects, and they want to read the book so that they can learn more about the series and about the characters. And that to me was really the reason that I did it. And I'll tell you, this morning I received a note from a mom who was here yesterday with 5 kids. God love her, she was here with 5 kids, and her note said, "Alane, thank you so much for introducing my kids to your series. Right now they're nose deep. There's not a word in the house, not a peep, because all 5 of them are nose deep in the book." And I was just so excited. That's a home run for me. That's why I wrote the book series, and that's why I did the game, so kids would be excited about reading.
So can you walk me through just a quick summary of how you play the game?
Sure. So once you've downloaded the app, the game is what's called a location-based game. It's using the Mixby platform. I partnered with a company called Artifact Technologies, and they have this really unique software platform that allows players to all be playing sort of together at the same time. And so here at the Comic-Con, we've actually deployed secret beacons all around this floor, which represent different realms, different lands within the book series. So as you're playing the game, you actually go from beacon to beacon, and when when your phone crosses into the path of that beacon, it allows you to collect content there. And when you collect these cards, you're looking for a rare card because you can't close the stone fire unless you collect 3 of these rare cards. But you actually collect these cards, and then you can cast spells, you can hinder other players, you can plunder cards from somebody, you can lay traps for people. And so you leave that beacon, but you've actually set a trap on that beacon, and you go out to the next beacon, and the next person that comes up gets caught in your trap. So it's really a lot of fun to play with friends, to play by yourself, and you're literally just going around the floor. We turn the Comic-Con into a game board, essentially is what we're doing, so that as you're wandering around and you're going booth to booth and just having a good time, all of a sudden it pops up into your phone. You've just entered Scarab Bray, and you get to collect content there. And again, we have some players who want to beat the time. They want to close the stone fire as fast as possible, so they run from beacon to beacon. You make this game, you put all this work into it, and you don't know. You don't know how people are going to respond, how actual fans and players are going to respond to the game. Is it going to be too slow, too hard, too boring? And what we've seen really to a T is that everybody playing, and it's just been having a great time, which was really exciting for us.